Hello everyone, this is Merritt, the Super Seamster, and today I'm going to do my most dreaded thing that I kind of don't like, which is I'm going to do ironing. It's not that I don't like ironing, but sometimes it takes a long time, and I need to iron this fusing onto some of the fabrics, and so it's important that I do the ironing, so that way that'll save me time. I'll iron everything kind of right now, and then that way I'll be able to sew the pockets and do all the other things when it comes to making the garment, and then we may not have to uh, iron again. So right now, like, I just got some new interfacing, and it's a woven interfacing, and so there's two advantages. I made some notes, but there's two advantages to woven interfacing, and that's one, you can use a little bit hotter iron, and I want to turn this down a little bit because I have it really hot. And the second thing is that you can tear the fabrics, and then they also have different types uh, of woven interfacing. They have a stretch type, but it's different than the regular Pellon. And I've been using this Pellon. In fact, this had came off of a roll, and so what I did was I folded some out and I cut some, and so I use this in the middle of my shirts, in the front of my shirts, for the where I put my snaps on and stuff like that, or where you would put buttons. So anyway, so without further ado, I'm gonna try to run through this ironing really quickly. Unfortunately, it's gonna take a minute because it takes time. I don't mind doing it because it's fun, but it takes time. So what I did was I tore this Pellon. I tore this woven interfacing, and so it's a little bit wider than the fabric, and so it can stick onto the iron. This is my own iron I made. It's just a piece of plywood, and then I have a towel on top. But anyway, so I'm gonna kind of start on this corner, and wow, that's really sticking really well. I'm gonna lower it to kind of how I iron regular Pellon, because it seems like uh, it's really adhering really well. I wasn't sure. I thought it would work. Now the trick with this is that you want to kind of flatten it out as you go, okay? And I can tell that. So I'm just gonna kind of get this little corner started right here. I wore my gorilla shirt, so see where my gorilla's at. But so I do gorilla sewing, and I equate that to like sewing 24/7. Like, that's what guerrilla warfare is. It's kind of like where, the gorillas, they'll be in the tree, and then, they wait for the enemy, and then they pounce on them. But and so this is going to be cut in strips. At first I had cut the strips, and then it was going to be harder to sew it. So anyway, so this is what that fabric looks like. So we have all of these guns, like there's a gun, and then, it's machine guns. I don't know the name of the guns, but anyway. So now I'm going to keep going. I have a lot. I need to fuse so much stuff. But on this, I'm making one pair of pants, and it's going to have a musical keyboard. So I'll just take this opportunity to hurry and iron this, because I have to iron everything, and it's a lot because I'm 8 pair of pants, so every pair is going to be different, okay? Well, normally I'll iron this. Okay, that's about a good temperature. I'll kind of iron it a little bit once I wet it, and to get. And I'll say if it was hard, I couldn't do it, but I'll say it to you like this. Uh, so sewing is a challenge though. Okay, well look, let me keep going. Okay, look, so I did that. So I gotta iron all of these. Okay, I need to do the same thing. So what I'm gonna do is on these, sometimes you have to pick okay, this is the right side. So are straight, so I don't really have to iron these, but these other ones I do. And so before I do those smaller ones, I think this will be a little bit easier, so I'm going to start with these. And so basically, okay, this is the wrong side, or at least I'm blind, but that's what I'm calling it. It looks like on this side there's a little something in the middle. And so I'm kind of calling that the right side, although this one it could be, but not really. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is just kind of iron these down, iron these out. Mostly I only need, and I'm going to turn this back up, I only need it really on the one side. And that's going to be where I have these that I pre-cut, well, I tore them, and I pre-cut them or pre-tore them at 5 inches. And the reason I did that was so I could put 2.5 inches on each side. And then after that, I'm going to cut it. Now this here is 3 pockets. And I cut them to size. Normally I just sew the whole thing. But again, like I said, for time, because I knew this was going to be a long video. Okay, so basically I'm folding it backward in half, and again, this fabric is a little bit okay, and so I have it folded in half, and I have the half basically on that line. So from there, I'm just going to gently and carefully fold it, trying to not to move anything. So you can see kind of how tedious this is a little bit. But in the end, when you only paid the price of the fabric, and then you have some dope clothes, the price of the fabric and the time in making it. Okay, so is this one long enough? You know what? It just about fits. So I guess I'll just kind of go with this one, and then technically I may not even have to add anything. And so I'm doing the same thing. I'm folding it in half. I would say between this and the Pellon, again, that's because this particular woven fabric is more like kind of like a sheer fabric. It's more sheer, like it would be like a slinky fabric. But anyway, so that's pretty close at the half.